Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next session of From Nothing, Tam's story. And we're going to pick up just a few minutes after where we left off last, where you just had a conversation with Kaisa. You left her to enjoy her evening at the tavern. Tam, your time is yours. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna grab. I imagine that Sagona's not like super picky about what she drinks. But I'm gonna grab something that Sagona would like from the
Something
bar.
Sagona would like. Okay. You know Sagona favors ale and whiskey. Very much the things
Yep.
that either are filling or get you drunk fast.
Gotcha. I think we're gonna go with drunk fast this time.
Okay. So,
'Cause
in the history, you remember she's drank bourbon and rum if she's trying to get drunk.
great. We're gonna do rum.
Okay. You get her some rum.
Yeah.
You don't see her immediately. Might require some investigation.
Sure. I'll do an investigation check. Is she at the bar? That's pretty good. 19.
You do not see Sagona at the bar. With a 19, you find her in a dark corner of Cavies. So there's like a raised stage in the middle of the tavern where bards typically play. Off to the right of the stage, in a shadowy corner, you do catch Sagona. She has her feet up on the table, and she looks particularly like she's watching the rest of the tavern. Like she's not. I guess brooding is the word. She looks like she might be brooding a little bit, or at least deep in thought.
Interesting. She's deep in thought. Okay. Tam will join her. Hey,
Hello, what's happening?
do you not do you not want company because you're thinking?
No, you're fine. Though I'm not sure that I could entirely convince you to leave.
You could try. Um, I do you what you thinking about?
All this shit. The situation we find
Mm,
ourselves in.
yeah, it's a lot. What do you think?
Sounds like a lot of people that are really willing to stab others in the back.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing,
A bit,
actually.
aye. So,
Yeah,
I don't know if you
all the
know
gold.
much about the floating irons. Do you?
I don't think so.
I've been there a couple times. And everyone's very cutthroat about getting the things that they want. And I'm not gonna lie, it really seems like that's the case around here as well with the nobles, from what we're hearing. No one is unwilling to suffer an insult just to buy some time. I
Yeah.
mean, that gnome, Eniga, I think his name was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I overheard what you and Kaisa were talking about. That's not good. Because he was on their side, wasn't he?
He was on their side and he got stabbed. Yeah, I'm worried about that too. It seems like Demerick is pretty. It seems like he's pretty ready to do whatever it takes to stay in power.
Aye, the word ruthless comes to mind.
Sure does. And he's bought off basically the people that he couldn't buy off. He's trying to either, I guess, kill or get more power than so he can keep him in line.
That's what it seems like. Sticky
So I think
situation.
we're, yeah, it would seem to be on the. I don't know if there's. I imagine with Nier, you don't really necessarily believe in a right side, but to me, it seems like we're on it.
I can recognize the side that's not willing to kill everyone to get their way.
That's true. So, Tam kind of taps the glass a little closer to her.
Hmm. You're buttering me up.
Well, yeah. You remember how I had said I had something to tell you?
I do.
Because I
She
talked to
is
my dad.
insight checking you.
I mean, I don't. Can I opt to not roll persuasion? Can I just say that he's? I
So
mean,
you do have
he
to
worked.
roll persuasion because it conveys
Okay,
how fluid you are in conveying what you're hoping to convey.
28.
All right. What is it going to get?
Uh, Tam. Tam looks kind of excited. Tam looks like he's been wanting to tell her this news all day. Uh, but he also looks kind of concerned for her well-being. So it's this
Okay.
sort of like mix of excitement and concern.
Sagona like
Um,
raises a hand, like to stop Tam,
uh-huh.
and she says, "Look, you're very cute and all, but I'm not like Thomas. You know, I'm not that brainy. I'm not that proper. I've known you a while, and we get along, sure.
What?
What? What do you mean, what?
I have some information about your mark.
Oh." And Sagona's face just like flushes, and then she
What were
blushes, and
you what were you talking about?
nothing important. Okay? What
No,
about my
no, no,
mark?
no, no. No, you were talking about tonic. What? Did you think I was going to ask you out?
I did. Aye, that's what I thought.
And so you were getting ready to let me down easy.
I'm not necessarily. I was going to warn you that I'm. This is a conversation we can have at another time. What about my mark?
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. So, do you know what the prophecy of the Stormborn is?
Hold on. Can't say I've heard of that. No.
So, I think you were marked by Nier, but it might not have been for the reason that you think.
Okay.
I did some I did some research, um, and people maybe it's not just a follower thing. There's a particular prophecy that I found that specifically talks about somebody that survived a drowning that's going to essentially that's going to play a huge role in something to do with a big coming storm. Probably maybe metaphorical, but probably not. And I'm just gonna I can reread it on screen if you want, but like he basically because he copied it down, he will read it to her.
Then, yeah, you should read it.
Sure. In the depths where life does not reach, the storm claimed one who should have been lost. Beneath the crashing waves, they were pulled from death's grip, reborn into the heart of the tempest. Marked by lightning, chosen by thunder, they shall rise with the tide and stand in the wind. But beware the rising sea, for the storm that saves can also destroy. As the skies darken once more, the drowned shall walk a path between water and sky. They alone can calm the maelstrom or unleash its fury upon the world. As the ocean grows, so too shall their fate stir in the storm's eyes, and in their eyes lies the power to reshape the world or sink it beneath the waves. I think that's you. I think you're the Stormborn.
If that's the case, why haven't I heard him when
I
everyone
haven't
else
figured that
has?
I haven't figured that part out yet. I don't know, but I think that this has something to do with it.
And what is that? What am I supposed to do?
I don't know that either.
If I'm alone, if I can calm the maelstrom, what does that mean? What storm?
I don't know.
I don't know
I
if you
know it
know this,
is.
but Augur City's very landlocked.
I know, but you're going to be a mercenary, right? Like our
Aye.
city, I mean, and also that's not, let's be clear. There are terrifying monsters that can bring storms anywhere they want.
All right, well, how about this? I mean, you're aware of my particular flavor of handling issues. I'm not exactly the one to go calming storms, am I?
Sure. No, you could decide to unleash it on the world, but that also does seem like your choice, and Nier's whole thing is your choice.
So it does. Okay. Well, thank you for telling me this, but I don't really know what to do with it.
I don't really either, but I do think it's something that we should investigate. I mean, maybe not like right now because we're dealing with a whole bunch of other things, but I don't know. It points us in a direction, and it means that I don't think I don't think you're being marked for like loneliness. I think you're being marked for something really incredible that maybe Nier's not allowed to tell you. It would make sense to me. I don't know, but it would make sense to me that if there was this really big important thing that like somebody was fated to do and I was the god that was kind of like responsible for that person, maybe I wouldn't be allowed to talk to them and to try to influence that decision. It sounds to
I.
me like this is a choice that you have to make by yourself.
Okay. I think the real answer here is we need to find a squall tamer.
Oh, what now?
It's a master cleric of Nier's order.
I'm sorry, you cut out there for a second, Echo.
It's a master cleric of Nier's order. If we have the opportunity to find one, that would help. Could get some answers if this
Okay,
prophecy's real,
amazing.
or
Then
if it
we'll do
even
that.
applies to me.
Why do you think it wouldn't?
What? Prophecies are specific and confusing. I mean,
Sure.
it could apply to me, but it could also very well not. It might apply to someone else who survived a shipwreck or getting cast to sea. That happens to people all the time. Well, not all the time. You know what I mean.
I mean, not all the time.
I think
And not all of those people are literally marked by Nier.
I'm just not entirely sure you're not looking past your own uh, opinions. Though what's the word that Kai said? Bias. You're not looking past your own bias toward me.
Well, maybe you're not looking past your lack of bias towards yourself.
That's a fair point, but we both could be right. We both could be wrong.
Sure. I'm not necessarily saying that this is definitely going to happen, even though I absolutely think it will. But it is worth it is worth looking into. I didn't think you would believe it absolutely was. Well, I kind of actually hoped that maybe you would think that. But
Do you
the point
ever get
is,
tired of being so optimistic all the damn time?
uh, no?
No, I think I knew the answer to that before you replied. And she takes a drink of the rum.
See, look, I knew you would want that.
Mm-hmm. Of course I do. It's
Listen,
rum. I can't just leave it
I
there.
I know that people get tired of this from me. I get it. I know. Everyone's told me.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it's true. So there.
Okay. And I think there might be a chance that it's true, but I really doubt it.
Okay, well, then we can live in doubt for a little while. And in the meantime, we now have a next thing to do, which is great. We'll talk to a storm squall.
Squall tamer.
Squall? That one.
Aye, that
Yeah.
one. Thank you, Tam.
You sighed, so that probably means I should leave you alone.
No, it's fine. I just...
Okay.
It's been a long week.
Yeah, it really has. Um, actually, I did want to ask you something else. You were
Oh?
listening to the conversation with Kaisa, right?
I was.
Do
I
you
try
think
to
it's
listen to
likely?
everything.
Huh. Do you think it's likely that this sergeant person really is pretending to be an emissary of Vion?
I think that's unlikely. If there's any order that you try not to cross, the Vionites are one of them.
That's what I thought.
An Asimar of Vion would be hard to fake. Incorruptible comes to mind from my own studies. Have you ever been to Terracona?
Uh, have I? I grew up not too far from there, right?
No, you grew pretty far away.
Oh no, I guess. Yeah, I know. I'm thinking of a different place. Okay. Yeah, probably not.
Well, that's where
I
your
think it was
family
just.
is now, but there, it's not
Yeah, that's right.
close.
That's what I was thinking. That's where my family is now, but that's not where I've ever been. So
Right.
no. My family's there, but no.
Well, you know the legends of gold dragons, eh?
Roll history about it.
Go ahead, roll history.
History.
Really, the difference here is
Oh,
either I'm going to explain it to you in my normal voice or in Sigona's voice.
yeah, should Dave explain to me in Sigona's voice because I do
Okay, so
not.
Sigona, like when you clearly look clueless, Sigona says, "What did you study back when you were in a temple of the Magos?"
I, well, if you must know, I wasn't very good at studying.
Couldn't have caught that. All right, so
I mostly played the fiddle.
okay,
There's there's a reason I'm a bard,
it's
okay?
fair. It's fair. All right, this is the sort of story that you, as a bard, should probably know. All right, gold dragons, especially powerful ones, are so bound to the law that it is actually crippling, right? But
Well,
also,
that's a problem.
they are benevolent. They try and do things for the betterment of people. But if they witness a crime, they get irrationally upset. And the older the dragon is, the more true that is. So, if you're aware, Terracona, you know, Raylar, the Everlasting, the gold dragon that rules over it all,
Sure.
if I remember right, he's almost a great worm. Like, probably another few hundred years and he's gone beyond ancient.
Okay.
And, I mean, you know, the legends of the old kings that were too strict, they ended up getting beheaded as, you know, they were executing people for stealing a loaf of bread.
Oh,
Imagine
yeah,
that.
that's too strict.
Imagine that, but 100 times worse.
That sounds very scary.
Right. So, a gold dragon that is that strict about upholding the code of law and benevolence is willing to trust the Order of Vionites to handle managing their nation and their city.
So that means that
That's
they're pretty incorruptible. They gotta be, or a dragon would eat them.
specifically in Terracona. I doubt that's the case around here, but you know, I mean, you know the Legends of Vion. He is basically has the perfect moral compass or whatever.
I imagine that Nier maybe doesn't agree with him very much, huh?
It's more about not caring. Everyone should find their own way instead of trying to bind themselves to what other people think as far as their judgments and balance. It's not important.
Yeah.
Living your own life and making your own choices is so much more important.
You know, I agree with that now.
Aye. It's because I'm right.
Yeah.
So's
Yes,
near.
you are.
Anyway, If this is an Azamar of Ion, you're gonna find the same uptight, kind of annoying, just... I'm sure he's gonna be grating, but incorruptible. And,
Well, I'm grading too, so maybe it'll work out.
eh, in different ways. I can tolerate your grating.
Uh, do you have any other like advice about how to handle this guy?
Just be honest. Don't
Yep.
try to lie to him.
Oh well, I'm not good at that anyway.
I know,
So
it's true. But you know, like, even the attempt might upset him. And I'm pretty sure he's going to do things by the book. As literally by the book as you possibly can. Unless he is faking it, in which case this might be a lot easier.
why would it be easier?
Well, if it's not an Azamar of Vion, and an Azamar of anyone else, basically, they might have a sense of humor.
Ah, I see. But also they might be
They might be corrupt,
in
and we can work with that if they are. I mean, we can always apply a little pressure. But if it is an Azamar of Vion, that's not the right route. So it's going to be... I mean, I'll be there. I'll let you know what I think.
please.
I'll drop my mace on your foot if it's not Vion, and I
Oh,
know for
great.
certain.
Great. I love I That's an excellent signal. Let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'll hurt, but still
You'll be fine. I won't drop
yeah,
the head on it. I'll just drop it like handle first. You know.
that's very generous of you, Sagana. Thank
I mean, I'm not very good at subtlety.
you. Yeah, but you have other talents.
It is kind of by choice,
Yes. You choose not to be very good at subtlety, and I appreciate that. I choose not to be very good at deception.
and I respect that.
Yeah.
It also wouldn't look good on you.
I would, yeah. I'm not good at it.
You do not
I
have a
mean,
nefarious bone in your body, Tam.
well, maybe this guy will like me as a result.
Maybe.
Seems good. We're gonna call that good.
I mean, it's about as good as it can be, short of not being good. Because
Okay.
either it is exactly as good as it could be, or we're in trouble. So,
Yes. And we're already in enough trouble, I think.
agreed. This has been... I'm just tired of looking at alleys, making sure no one's trying to stab us in the back.
Yeah, it's not definitely not it's not the first adventure I was expecting.
No. I
Um,
mean, we've been here before, but it was never like this.
well, it was just supposed to be a normal, an easy job. Go up to August City. We've done escort missions tons of times.
Yeah, this one has a hangers-on, apparently.
Yeah. Did you see the seventh trellis might be involved even?
No, I
Did you
didn't
think you
hear
saw
that
that
part.
part? Yeah. Real dangerous.
Hold on. Who are they again? I feel like I've heard of that name, but I can't place it.
Oh, they're assassins. Guys that thinks that it's possible that Demeric hired them to get rid of Strong in the Arm.
Nine hells. Alright. So this goes
I mean,
deep. This goes before... Uh, before the King's Moot.
yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of suspected that in the first place, but I mean, and we don't have proof. We just have, a rumor, but it sure is a rumor that seems to point in a direction that would make sense
Rumors are frequently true.
sometimes.
Name one
Anyway,
that wasn't.
um, I don't know.
Right. Because you remember the ones that are.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's smart. You're very wise.
I know.
Okay. I'm gonna go to bed.
All
It's been
right.
a long day.
Get some rest. I'll see you in the
Uh,
morning.
yeah. See you in the morning.
She
Bye.
drinks the rest of the rum.
Tam is tired
Yeah,
and
I
going to
bet.
bed.
All right, Tam, as you go to take a long rest, I have good news.
Yeah.
You finally level up.
Oh my gosh!
You're level 6.
Incredible. I was like, my good news is I don't have another nightmare.
You
Oh,
you don't have
wow.
another nightmare, that's true, but also you level up.
Huge for me.
Yeah,
Incredible.
it's about time.
Is yeah, amazing. Hooray. Oh wow, I have some choices to make, huh?
Yes, you do.
Good thing I've thought about this a million times already.
And as you do that, I will also level up your party.
Hooray!
Let's see.
Okay, now I have
Hiram,
now I have to
get out of there. Oh, shit. Cat.
cat.
Hold on, rolling a hit die. Oh, Hiram just got a big chunk of HP.
That's
As if he
exciting.
needed it.
Listen, there's always going to be a moment. There's always a moment where it's necessary. Oh man. All right, we're gonna go with the thing that I always knew we were gonna go with.
No, D8. Okay. Okay, now for Sedona. Okay. It's +6. I was about to say, why does Segona have more health than Hiram? And then I remembered she's a dwarf. And
He's a
that's why.
dwarf. That's why. Yep. Oh man. As usual, I'm going with the. Do I make the fun mechanical choice or do I make the story choice? As usual, I probably am gonna go with the story
As usual.
choice.
This cat is driving me absolutely nuts.
Oh
Eh,
no, what's he doing?
He's just... He's chewing on all the wires hanging off of my desk.
Oh no, chewing cat. We hate this.
It's... That's how it goes. Alright.
It's very, yes.
Just re-import every... I know him.
No.
Oh, there he is. He has jumped on the back of my chair. Oh, you can see the glorious orange now.
I sure can. I get to learn new spells. That's exciting.
What are you taking?
What a good question. I was thinking about my magical secrets, and then I forgot that I got to actually learn bard spells. Um, Probably Tiny Hut,
That's a great choice.
because that's very useful. Oh, I can only take one? Yeah, so it's gonna be Tiny Hut, and that's it.
Okay.
Like we've always been in places where we don't necessarily need it, but
That might change.
eventually that will change. And it's also a ritual, which rules.
All right. As soon as you are done leveling up, we can resume the adventure.
Yep, we are done. We can resume the adventure.
Okay, let me just import you. Make sure you click the long rest button.
Yes. Does this in or like in terms of magical secrets, because I've leveled up kind of
Mm-hmm.
outside, like, and I guess I was just at a library. Like, is there a kind of like an in-universe reason that I now have these spells, or is it like this knowledge is bestowed on me? They are both wizard spells, so maybe there's like a Mongos angle there.
So, the magical secrets, which gives you like unique spells from other classes' spell lists, the
Yes.
way I see them is as a bard, you woke up after a long rest and you were inspired. You had a dream or you came up with a song that let you perform these spells that you normally wouldn't be able to.
I love that. Okay. So I think, is it okay if I flavor it that
Mm-hmm.
Tam does have a dream, and it is, in fact, a dream about Magos? Or at least it looks like it's a dream about Magos at first.
Okay.
And eventually, it becomes clear that it is a dream about both of those gods. It is about Magos and the fiddler, and the two of them working in concert. And when he wakes up, he can cast Counterspell and Find Familiar.
Sure. That can absolutely be your flavor.
Awesome.
I don't claw your chair. Ow. Quit being a dick.
Now I have three rituals. That's fun.
Heim, get the fuck out of here. All right. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. You awaken after taking a long rest. New dream having inspired you to come up with a couple new songs that gives you new spells. Uh, as you awaken, you have a lot to do today.
Yeah, sure do.
You
Um,
can regather your party if you like.
yep. Tam is going to. Is there breakfast available at
You
Cavi's?
can absolutely order it.
Yeah, we're gonna order some breakfast,
Okay.
and then we're gonna go meet this presumed Asmar.
Okay. Everybody who eats breakfast at Cavi's, which is like breakfast at Tiffany's, gains 5 temporary hit points. So make a note of that.
Edible. I have a note. Fantastic.
I am giving your NPCs 5 temp. Okay. And you remember what Kaiser said about where you might find E.T. Sergeant E.T. Let's go ahead and go to the map. Do you recall?
Uh, let's see. Do I recall? Did I? Of course, I make notes on everything. Did I make notes on this very important detail? Probably not. Four forges. I did. I did make note
Well
note of
done.
this. Four forges.
You know what? You can have a point of inspiration for that.
Hooray! Thank you, past Emily.
All right. You head to Four Forges. Heading out of the north side of the Fog Rock District down into the Four Forges. Go ahead and roll me an investigation as you search
Okay.
for a guard sergeant with a remarkably polished suit of armor.
Oh no, that's a natural one.
Okay.
I don't. I don't understand what polished means in this context.
Okay. You
And think that every shiny piece of armor is perhaps an SMR.
after the fourth guard that you stop asking if they're Sergeant ET, uh, it's this brown-haired human who looks at you and he says, "No, he's walking the beat down that street."
Thank you.
You're welcome. And he just looks at you with a slightly odd look. You eventually do find him, but it takes much longer than you were hoping.
Sure.
And you find yourself in one of the main streets of... That's the wrong music. Apologies.
Okay.
There we go. And as you enter the street, you do see there is a man who looks remarkably well taken care of. The way the sun shines on his face and his hair is almost a little bit too pretty. And you're
Okay.
pretty sure that is indeed an Azamar.
And his armor is remarkably polished.
Remarkably clean. It looks as though it does look like it's seen some battle, but it also looks just extremely well oiled and taken care of and shiny.
Do I know if there is a greeting, an appropriate way to greet a servant of Vion?
Roll a religion check.
Amazing. 'Cause I think I rolled pretty high on Vion once before already. Let's see, where's religion? You would think I would remember. That's terrible. 10. Can I ask
Hold on.
for help?
Yeah, sure. Sagona would probably have an idea. Go ahead and roll it with advantage.
Amazing. I'm gonna guidance, if that's allowed, also. Slightly better. 15. And a d4. Is... Oh, 19.
A common greeting you and Sagona remember. If it's just a casual greeting, strength and order be with you.
Okay, we will go with it. That is how Tam will address this guy.
You see he is currently looking up and down the street. He is basically at a post here in this alley. You can see that he can see down multiple junctions to this street, and when you say that, he turns and looks at you. Hail to the enforcer of order.
Hail. Hi. My name's Tam. You're busy, you're at work, but I actually have something kind of important to talk to you about. Um, but it might be best away from prying eyes. Is that okay?
I'm sorry. Remind me who you are?
Temerity Goldhorn, sir.
He notices your Marigard insignia. He looks at your crew. Why have I not heard of you before?
Um, should you have?
I'd like to think so.
Well, I am a relatively recent graduate of the Marigard Academy, and this is kind of my first real gig on my own.
Understood.
I haven't really made a big name for myself yet.
And you require a private conversation with me?
That would be helpful.
Forgive me for my caution. You and your crew are well armed. I am alone.
Oh, well, that's true. Um, would it be helpful if it was just me and I left my fancy sword over here?
He is insight checking you.
Okay.
As you say that, Sagona, like, kicks you in the back of the leg. He, like, looks at Sagona, and you see he kind of narrows his eyes. And he just says, Stormcaller. And Sagona, like, looks up at him and just says, Aye. I think just a conversation with you would be fine. You do not need to disarm. Yet.
Okay.
What is the nature of this conversation?
There's some things that I have been investigating in this town, and they are not, they're not particularly lawful things. And I feel like you should know about them. But because they're not particularly lawful, I'm concerned that um, I might be in danger if it's overheard.
Hmm.
But I have on good authority that you're a man to be trusted. I'm not incidentally because of your relationship to man. And I'm a follower of a god myself, and I am inclined to trust you.
Not all of us have it as such by choice.
That is true. Well, actually, I don't know that in the way that you do. But I was born to clerics myself and had something of a destiny that I sort of ran away from. So I'm sympathetic to that.
Very well, Temerity. You may call me Elias.
Nice to meet you, Elias. You can call me Tam if you want.
Indeed. Why don't we head down this side street here?
Sure.
And it is literally like the back streets between what look like a couple of businesses. On one hand, on like the right, it looks like an armorer, but like a fairly like a bronze armorer almost, the sort of person who works with antiques. And then on the other side is what it smells of leather, and you're pretty sure it's a tannery, which means it doesn't smell very good back here.
Sure.
But away from the road, Elias leans against the wall. Very well. Speak.
How much do you know about the Silver Express?
He lets out a small sigh. If you have questions, I suggest you take them to the station.
I shouldn't do that. Because I'm pretty sure, actually, I'm certain, that they are shipping in illegal shipments of riverine from Kea. And you can look at this bill of lading that I have that says that they are supposed to be farming equipment heading out to Severett Farms. But it's not farming equipment, it's riverine.
Riverine.
Yeah.
This is a serious allegation. Do you have any proof?
I will show him the bill of lading and the riverine coin.
He looks at the coin, confused, and he, turns it over in his fingertips.
There is something happening at the Mint. I was sent to investigate what was happening to the riverine and was sent to the Mint and was ambushed yesterday by some Aurelian military, plainclothes.
Mm-hmm.
We managed to get this coin. Sorry, I meant to ask about this, DM. Did Annabelle finish
She
matching
did, and it does match.
He'll say that too.
An important question comes to mind. Why has this come up? Why is this of interest to you, a mercenary of the Merryguard? Have you been hired by someone to handle this?
Well, I was initially hired to get a person here safely.
I was under the impression the Merryguard Mercenary Academy doesn't do anything out of good faith. It only works with the highest bidder.
So, I'm Kayan.
Interesting.
And, my family has been displaced by the war.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a way to stop the war bloodlessly by trying to get King Demeric up on charges of doing this shady nonsense, I'm inclined to try to do that.
I see.
I'm the kind of mercenary that would prefer to talk than fight.
So I'm noticing. I've heard reports of a conflict on the streets of Castletown. Are you telling me that wasn't you?
If it was a couple of guys right outside the Mint, yeah, that was us.
Yes. So, you confess to that altercation, but you'd prefer to talk.
Yes. It was an ambush. I would prefer not to have had that altercation. And we didn't kill anybody because I didn't think that anyone should die about it. But I didn't want to die.
The only reason I'm not bringing you in on homicide charges is because nobody was killed.
Yeah, I am aware.
Well, Tam, these are a lot of serious allegations.
Yep.
What are you hoping to gain by bringing them to my attention, aside from now the guard is aware of you?
I was told that you were in the market to do the right thing.
That is my duty. I
trust that if in fact you do wish to do the right thing, that I trust you to investigate these charges. And if you find them to be true, because I can't do anything about the Mint. I went there and I almost got killed and will get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But you can investigate the Mint.
I can assign detectives to investigate the Mint, yes.
You may wish to be careful about the Gold's Watch. Since most of them are...
Roll of persuasion. He's immediately inciting you.
Natural 20, 31.
What you are saying implies that the Gold's Watch is responsible for a deep-rooted conspiracy, in that the Silver Express is illegally importing, stealing, riverine from another nation, bringing it here. The Gold's Watch is keeping it under wraps, using it to create these.
Yes.
And as you began to unearth these truths, you were ambushed.
Yes.
He rubs the bridge of his nose. All right. And how do I know this isn't just a side play by the gangs from the chapels? Because this fits.
Aside, what do you mean? Like a distraction to get you to look into this instead of something else?
Yes.
Well, I mean, for one thing, this is kind of a bit of a tall tale be telling.
Mm-hmm.
And to put myself, like...
You understand why I'm skeptical.
How many mercenaries do you know that would be eager to confess to a thing that you could put them in jail for?
If there's something bigger the mercenaries can claim, it's a common tactic.
There is something bigger. This conspiracy is something bigger, and I'm putting myself in danger to bring it to your attention. How about this? I'm not asking for all of your attention forever. I'm asking you to look into this for a day. I've been here less than a week. This is what I found. You have a lot more authority than I do. And all I've done is talk to people.
Sergeant Elias holds up the bill of lading and he points to the signature and he says, I have an idea.
What's that?
If you will perform a task for me, I will perform a task for you.
Okay. Do you want me to person?
Glideway Checkpoint Belga is where Tinwater is stationed. He's the individual responsible for this checkoff. It's a little bit of a ride north along the Glideway, but I trust that you, as a mercenary, have the means to make that, well, timely. While you do that, I will assign a couple of my guards to investigate the Mint quietly. If something comes of my investigations in the Mint, and if you can find me hard evidence of a buy-off, a bribe, or a confession from Tinwater, then we can have a conversation about talking to the Justicar.
That sounds fair to me.
I expect to see you here tomorrow, the same time. That should be enough time to get out there and back.
You got it.
It also should be enough time for my detectives to find something or nothing. In case this is...
If I get held up for any reason, I will send you a message.
You have the means?
I do.
All right. Then I will either see you here tomorrow, or I'll hear from you.
You will.
You can tell your friend to stop listening now.
What?
He points. And you see around the corner... Well, actually, you don't see around the corner.
Yeah, my passive perception's terrible.
Yeah. Tell your tiefling that she can get in trouble eavesdropping.
I will tell her, and she will not stop.
Sounds like every mercenary group I've ever worked with. If you don't mind, I have work to do.
You do. Thank you very much for hearing me out.
Mm-hmm. I'm keeping this. And he holds up the bill of lading.
Sure.
And this. He holds up the Riverine coin. This is evidence.
Yep.
And he walks away. Deeper into the city. Well, Tam?
Tam goes back to his team.
Oops. Okay, you head back to your team. I will pull up the city map once more. And as you do return to your team, Skolna, like, reveals herself stepping off of the wall around the corner. And she just looks at you like she's expecting something.
I imagine that he told you could hear him say that I'm supposed to tell you that you shouldn't do that anymore.
She nodded.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you not to do that anymore. That's what you're.
She nods again.
Yeah. Okay. Good talk.
Well, the fuck happened?
I thought I should tell him the truth. So I did that. Sorry that you didn't get the chance to drop a mace on my foot.
No, he's an Asimov anyway. It wasn't. It's
great.
It was fucking clear as day.
I figured that as much. He doesn't want to believe us because we're mercenaries. I convinced him to look into it. He unfortunately still has the evidence, which is not ideal, but you know that's the only way we're going to convince him anyway. So now we have another job to do. We're going to go look into Tinwater, who was the guy that signed off on this, and try to look for evidence of a bribe.
How do we find evidence of a... What, is he suddenly richer?
I don't know. But we'll figure that out while we're on the glideway, I guess. I guess we have to kind of put the screws to him. We could take Kaisa, maybe. She would know.
Sagona looks at Skolna, and Sagona says, "You're probably pretty good at interrogations, hmm?" And Skolna just nods.
Then we'll do that. Yeah. So that's what we need to find some sort of evidence that this is the guy that did the thing that we know that he did. And meanwhile, he says, Elias says he's going to put a team on it. I convinced him that it shouldn't be Gold's Watch because that would be bad for us. But he's going to put a team on it to investigate the Mint quietly, see what they find. And then we'll meet back up here. And we know that there is a conspiracy, so it'll be fine.
Hiram just shrugs and doesn't say anything. But Sagona says, "Sounds like you got the right words across to the fella. Well done."
I am good at that part. If there's anything I'm good at, it's words.
Right. So what's the plan then? We're heading where?
We gotta go, I guess, check glideway checkpoint Belga, he said.
Belga.
So I guess that means we're going on the...
Sounds like a fat aunt.
But before that, I would like to hit up a magic shop really quick. Because there's a spell I would like to cast.
Okay. Your party follows you.
I'm gonna get the incense necessary for Find Familiar.
Okay, yeah. That's easy enough. You find a component shop, you buy the incense.
Amazing.
No big deal.
Awesome. Are we far away from Cabby's? Can we, like, check in with, Alacaster and Kaisa?
Oh, you were like 15 minutes away when you went to the component shop, so you can easily make it back there.
Awesome. We're gonna go back and report to them what happened and that we have our next mission.
Alacaster seems pleased that you've gotten the guard to cooperate. Maybe not necessarily on your side, but they're listening to you.
Yeah, but they're listening to us. Like I didn't expect that even with Tam Silvertongue he was going to be able to like just convince a guy in one conversation.
No.
So Tam is like, cool, we got our next move, excellent. And is Kaisa there?
Yeah, Kaisa's laying low. She's at a table, drinking one of her strange melon fizzy drinks.
Do you want to come with us?
Come with you to the checkpoint.
To the glideway? Yeah, checkpoint. I mean, I understand that you're laying low, so maybe not. But I figure you actually know how to. Between you and Skulna, we should have an idea of how to get information from this guy.
My concern is that if there are people loyal to the Gold's Watch there, and I'm seen,
Yeah, that's
my
true.
cover's blown.
Your cover's blown. Yeah, that's true. So we don't have to do that. But if you have any advice, we'll take it.
Make sure if Tinwater was bribed, see if you can't figure out if he might have been charmed or modify memory if you can. I hear that's a thing the Gold's Watch have done in the past.
Okay.
He might not have known he did it, or he might have, well, not had control of himself when he did it.
Is there... So could we, like, maybe dispel it on him or something like that?
Aye.
Is that a spell? Be dispelled?
I mean, can you detect magic at all?
I can.
With a thorough enough investigation, you can find lingering remnants of enchantment, can't you? It's Detective 101.
Okay. Then, great.
Just to make sure you use it at a higher level than just the base.
Okay. Like really high? Or is like, a little bit enough?
Upcast it enough that you're confident.
Okay. Okay. Then we have our heading. Well, here we go.
She nods. Good luck.
Thanks.
And watch your back. I imagine they're probably anticipating someone to come a-snooping.
That is likely, and they know what we look like. So we're gonna do our best.
She nods.
The good news is, I'm actually, I know I don't look like it, but I'm actually pretty hard to surprise.
I never doubted you.
Okay. Off we go onto the train.
Okay. So the glideway is, well, you're not actually traveling on the glideway. You're traveling next to it, basically.
We're just going up. Okay, gotcha. We're not actually on the train.
No. That would be expensive, and also there's no guarantee you wouldn't be ganked while you're on the train.
I was in fact very concerned. I was like, "Ooh, this is gonna be like an old boy situation." Like, okay, we're gonna prepare for combat. Okay, this is good news, especially because I have so little money. We have done so many things, so little of which we have been paid for.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is kind of the nature of this situation.
Eventually, we're gonna get paid for the original job, which was bringing Alacaster there in the first place, but that's not until we go home.
Yeah, that's not until you get back. So all the money you're making right now is entirely what you make.
Theoretical, yeah.
Yeah. So you travel northwards. Let me go ahead and give you a different splash. As you make your way north, the glideway is actually fairly easy to travel next to. The Silver Express, especially the lands around it, they border along the Golden Wastes and the Rimwood, which is a very strange place. Just north of Augur City, the forest of the Rimwood suddenly ends, and it's like the trees just suddenly cut into sand, as the Golden Wastes are a desert that stretches all the way up to the edges of Augur City.
Wild.
You can kind of see it on the world map, but that's just a peculiarity of the topography of this area. You imagine that was likely done by magic somehow, but you don't know what, how, or why. Perhaps the Rimwood was a druidic creation entirely. Just plopped there in the middle of a desert. That's what it looks like.
Like, they decided to make... Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, as you all begin traveling northwards, I need you to roll me a d4.
Shall. I'm gonna guidance the Rimwood.
I'm going to go ahead and pull you to the world map. Just so you can see where you are. Nope, that's the wrong atmosphere. Here it is. Worldly travel. Typically, you can move 30 miles in a day on foot, but the last checkpoint, Glideway Checkpoint Belga, is not that far from Hunger City. It's only 10 miles away. So you expect you probably have maybe a 2-hour hike, maybe a 3-hour one.
Okay.
Which is not terribly unpleasant. And the lands north of Augur City are mostly populated with farmland, which is easy to navigate. You're following rural roads, country pathways, and very, very well-trodden, like, wagon trails that go between farms and ranches and pastures. It's pretty out here. It's also probably not an environment Tam has spent a lot of time in.
Sure is not. Agree. Nope.
Okay. Let me go ahead and pull up this guy. Okay. Nope, that's not the one. And you rolled me a 2?
I rolled a 2.
Okay, please roll me a D100.
All right. Sorry, I was messing around with my dice.
No worries.
I realized that whatever the dice so nice was changed at some point. 81.
81. Okay. You get out of, like, the rural pasture-laden area, and you end up on just, like, sparse, grassy pathways that keep heading north. And you see the glideway is kind of coasting along and has returned to your view just off to the right here. And as you make your way through a copse of trees, you suddenly hear, like, a buzzing in the air, like lots and lots of flies. You hear it coming up on your right as you're making your way down the road.
Okay, do I think that it's hostile, or do I think that it's like something has died and there's...
Roll me perception.
Okay. Ooh, 23.
With a 23, you notice it first and you smell it first. Something has... You smell rotting. You smell something has died. And shortly after you notice it, Sagona just goes, "Oh, fuck. What's that smell?"
It's a circle of life, I guess. Can we tell what has died?
As you proceed forward a little bit with that perception, you see in the ditch on the side of the road, you see there is an oxen that has perished. It is covered in sturges who are feeding off of it. You see that it does have a saddlebag, like a pack bag on it. So it likely was part of a wagon train or something, and it is no longer, as it has long since perished.
Does it seem like, is there any sort of, like, does it seem like there was like a robbery here or something like that? Like, why would, is it clear
Roll
if
investigation.
it's saddlebag on it? That seems suspicious. I will guidance myself for this also. Oh, that's
Skolna
actually
will help you as well. Skolna seems
Okay.
interested as she's looking over, and she begins looking around the area.
Okay.
She can assist you, or she can roll her own.
I just rolled.
You just rolled, and
I
you rolled a 19,
I
so...
rolled well, so that's a 20. Ooh, and I rolled well on guidance too. That's a 25.
With a 25, the position of the oxen, the way it has fallen, you see that sticking out of the back of the oxen, like the haunch on the left-hand side, is a broken arrow. And you look the direction the oxen looks like it may have came from, you see lots of, like, torn up track marks leading off the road down to this pit. You see farther down the road, there is a broken wagon.
Yep, that checks out. Anything in the saddlebags?
You cover your nose and you investigate. The saddlebags are marked. They have, like, this gold leaf filigree on them. You read in them. Do you speak Halfling?
I don't think I do, no.
Okay. In common, it just said Dukes at the top
Dukes.
of the bag. And then there's, like, some Halfling underneath it.
Okay, so potentially a trader or merchant of some kind.
It looks like a merchant.
Alright, let's check out the wagon, I guess.
Okay. Well, first, you're looking in the saddlebag.
Yes.
I do need you to do me some rolls, please.
Okay.
First and foremost, nope. You look in the saddlebag. I don't know what's in the saddlebag yet. It is a table roll. So
Gotcha.
please, 1, 2, 3, 4. Roll me a d10.
Okay. That's fun. Treasure of some kind.
Potentially.
Not normal.
I don't know yet. 1. Okay. Roll me a d100.
Damn, okay. $83. I'm rolling in the same range today.
Huh. Okay. In the saddlebag, you find all sorts of jewelry. Small, like, they don't look particularly fancy. Sorry. Many of them look like costume jewelry, and then as you get deeper in the bag, you find a pouch, like a velvet pouch, nestled amongst the jewelry. And immediately you assume it's just more costume jewelry, except when you pick up the pouch and you look into it, unlike everything else in the bag, which kind of has, like, the lint and dust from the saddlebag all covering it, this is remarkably clean.
Oh, shoot.
And you suspect it might be magical. It is a circlet.
A circlet. Okay. I don't have Identify. I have Detect Magic. Does anybody have Identify?
You look at your party. Sagona just looks back and says, no.
Can I roll Arcana on it? Is that going to be helpful at all? Or
Arcana will help you determine, like, what kind of magical item it is, but it's not Identify.
No, that's a natural one. I have no idea.
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't know.
The only way to know is to attune to it or to identify it.
Cool. I mean, he'll attune to it.
Okay.
Because
you put it on and you concentrate on it. You feel your mind open to it, and suddenly you feel almost enervated. You feel as though you can remember things that you completely forgot, and you find yourself thinking a little more clearly and faster, and you are pretty sure this is a headband of intellect.
Oh my god, that's so funny. That's so funny. All of a sudden, Tam is hurt.
You found a headband of intellect.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Okay. Sure, Tam has an open attunement slot. Sure, Tam will attune to a headband of intellect.
You have a headband of intellect.
Unless, I mean, it seems like maybe that might be something. Does Sagona, what is it? It gets you to like a 17 or something?
19 intelligence.
19. Is Sagona less than that? Because that would be the suggestion.
Yeah, Sagona is less than that, but it's kind of, Sagona is wisdom and strength focused.
Not Sagona, sorry, Skolna, because she's doing investigation.
Oh, Skolna is extremely smart.
Yeah, I think
Sagona, not Sagona. Skolna's intelligence is a 20.
Okay, so she would not benefit from this.
Not at all.
Oh my gosh. I think Tam suddenly, for the first time in his life, kind of wants to read a book that is like not about stories.
Does anybody have a technical document?
Yeah, right. Like Tam is like Fascinating.
What is it?
What a, what a strange. I can think more clearly.
Like, when you attune to it, you understand it is a headband
Yeah.
of intellect. You know what the item is.
Okay, it's a headband of intellect. I
Oh,
feel smarter.
that's a stroke of luck.
I feel like my sister, actually. This must be how she feels all the time.
It's a stroke of bad luck for whoever's ox this was.
Yeah, right? Um, we should perhaps look we should look at the cart, I suppose.
Aye, why not?
So funny. Oh my gosh.
So, as you go in and you investigate the cart, roll me another investigation check, which you're much better at all of a sudden.
I am suddenly much better at that, yeah. Hang on, let me
That is
where's
very
my
funny.
so funny Tam with a headband of intellect? I can't. Hang on. I thought I added this. Did I not add it?
I don't know.
Add to my
It's a real item in D&D Beyond, so you should have no issue
is-
finding it.
Yep. Okay, my intelligence is yeah, I'm much I still don't have a proficiency in this, but I'm better at it. It would be very funny if I rolled another natural one.
Come on, honey. Go get your shaker.
18.
18.
Well, guidance, why not? What the
This,
hell?
this wagon. Okay. This wagon, you see it was ransacked, for sure. There's evidence of a fight. The wagon itself, one of the wheels is broken. It looks like it was smashed in by a weapon, like something heavy. The wagon itself has clearly been looted through. But with a 19, you do find there is a storage compartment underneath the wagon between the wheels that looks untouched.
Am I making some
Likely
rolls again?
unfound by whoever it was that ransacked this wagon. Yeah. You met the DC for the investigation, so you have found another treasure table item. Please roll me a d10.
Incredible.
6.
Tam has not gotten a lot of treasure.
Well, here you are.
This is so great. I'd not anticipated any of this.
Roll d100.
13.
13.
Lucky 13.
Okay. Interesting. Roll a d8.
Okay. Eight. Max damage. Treasure damage.
Okay. Opening the storage compartment. Let me check this out first before I give it to you.
Wild.
Okay. In the storage compartment, you find all sorts of little trinkets. Marbles, tools that look like they've been in there a while. But you also find there is a small wooden box that looks extremely well made. It's like tucked into the back of the compartment, really nestled up in there. Looks like it was almost padded, so it was like meant to be traveling there for a long time. It looks well lacquered and stained, like the box was intended for display. And as you pull out the box, inside it you find a statuette of an owl.
Okay. Does it look like a magical owl?
It is 100% a magical item. You know that immediately. It almost like tingles in your fingertips as you look at it.
You feel like owl could come to life, for example.
Yeah, it does.
feel like it could do
You see
more than
that there is on the inside of the box underneath it, in common, you read that the activation word for this owl is keen.
Keen.
Okay, you say keen. The serpentine statuette of an owl suddenly, like in a poof of smoke, is a huge owl. It's a giant owl. It's literally like standing on the road before you. It is 10 feet high and looking down at you with its massive eyes, just curious as to what you want. And you hear, yes,
Hi.
that is telepathically.
Hi.
Hello, you have summoned me.
I have. Can I only summon you once?
You can summon me for up to 8 hours. Then I must rest for 2 days.
All right. Well, this 2 days, I suppose. My name's Tam. Is your name Keen?
My name is Keen. Hello, Tam.
Hello. Did you have a master or a friend or a person that knew your name before this?
I have had many masters.
Is that your preferred term, or would you prefer something else?
It matters not. For the time that I am here, those who know my name and speak it are my master.
Okay. Well, great to meet you. I think something terrible has happened to your previous master. I am sorry to say.
I will recover.
Would you Would you like to travel with us for a while?
I don't see why not.
All right. Well, you are very big and difficult to disguise. But you're welcome. I imagine you have wings. You can fly with us. We're on our way to a mission.
Of course.
Are you the kind of owl that fights, or the kind of owl that watches?
I have many uses. I am best
Could-
used as a spy.
All right. Noted. I'm not a very good spy, so that's great. I have a friend that's a pretty good spy too. He looks over his shoulder at Skolna.
I also am strong enough to carry one or two of you if you need.
That's fascinating. Let's save that for later, for right now. But we are going to be in a situation soon, very soon, in fact, where it's possible that we might be in some danger. So if that's the case, if you could swoop down and help us, that would be great.
All you have to do is but think, and I will hear you.
Okay. All right. Great to meet you. Thanks.
A pleasure. Okay, go ahead and add the Serpentine Owl figurine of wondrous power to your inventory.
Okay. I feel silly for having chosen Find Familiar. I was really torn between Find Familiar and Revivify.
Well, this is not the same as a familiar.
Not the same as the Familiar.
It's freaking huge.
There's
It's literally
that.
a large creature. It's 10 feet tall.
Yeah, wild. I imagine, does it have like stats? Is
Yeah,
this like
yeah.
thing that can fight for it? Oh, wow. Okay.
It's a giant owl. It literally has the stats of a giant owl, which is perception of +5, stealth of +4, dark vision out to 120 feet. Really good passive perception. They have a fly speed of 60 feet. And because they're a large creature, they can carry a medium creature without a penalty, and they can carry 2 medium creatures at half speed. So, big owl.
I'm only seeing Bronze Griffin and Ivory Goats.
Search for serpentine. Should show up.
Okay. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong then.
Serpentine.
Serpentine.
Nope. ENT.
Serpent.
INE.
I'm getting INE. I am getting serpent dagger and serpent venom and no
Okay.
serpentine.
Try just searching for figurine, and it's a wondrous
Okay.
item.
Okay. I think that's what I tried before. Oh wait, no. Go out.
Like, I'm looking at this on D&D Beyond. There's no way you shouldn't have it. But I will
it
message
should
it
be.
directly to you.
Okay, rad. Excellent. Wow, what a cool day.
This is what happens with random encounters sometimes. You find a ransacked merchant's cart.
Yeah, I guess so. Figurine. Oh, now it is coming up. That's so weird. Marble, elephant, onyx dog, serpentine, owl.
That's the one you rolled.
That's it. Okay. We got a serpentine owl in the house. That's useful.
Yes, you do.
We will continue.
As you're traveling and Keen is flying overhead, Keen the giant owl will ask you a question.
What's that?
When you find yourself in conflict, should I be dangerous or try to merely incapacitate?
Incapacitate. For this, most of the time, incapacitate.
As you wish. My typical method is to pick someone up, fly as high as I can, and drop them. I will refrain from doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I think picking them up and having them off the field if they can't, especially if it's someone that's kind of can only fight close range, that's maybe the move to try to get them off the field if you can.
Understood. Do you
And
have...
If it's someone,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
if it's someone truly dangerous, I can tell you to drop them, but probably not most of the time.
As you like. Okay. You continue on.
Wild.
Yep, you have a giant owl. Okay. As you continue, go ahead and roll me another d4.
Okay. Four.
With a 4, the rest of your travel goes by quickly, and it gets into the early afternoon by the time that the glideway checkpoint Belga comes into view. And it's kind of interesting as you get to this point. The glideway itself, as you've been traveling, you've noticed it's basically like a pair of stone rails that seem to diminish and rise again. And there are some places where there's no discernible rail that would keep the tram going. It's just, you just see a path of sand that's carved through the grass and soil. And you've seen a couple glide trams just like scoot by you as you're walking.
I think I asked someone about this, that like they were hiring people to do stuff on the rail, but it like there wasn't a rail or something.
Yeah.
Like it was all magical.
Yeah. You watch as a glide tram coasts by you, and it's really odd to watch. You see the glide tram, and I think this is the first time Tam has actually seen one in motion, like out in the wild. Especially on the sections where there is no stone railing. The glide tram itself appears to be almost floating in the soil, as if it were a canoe sailing through the land. And
Tam likes that.
it very quietly coasts by. The only noise you hear is the sound of the glide tram cutting through the wind.
Ooh.
There is no noise of it scraping or brushing against the ground at all. And part of it almost feels a little unnatural, like a little weird to see this big vehicle just carve through the earth as it continues on its pathway. But you crest a hill and you see down below you, with the glideway leading right to it, a wooden structure. You see there's a few people milling about outside of it, and this wooden structure looks remarkably boring. It's kind of nestled in this copse of trees near the glideway, and you see there is a small wooden placard above the door that just says Checkpoint Belga.
Checkpoint Belka.
And that
Okay.
is your destination.
Yep.
And I think we'll handle that next session because it's going to be a
That
big
seems
thing,
like
I think.
That seems like a good place to stop. Yeah.
All right. So,
Great. Very cool.
thank you for playing with me tonight. I hope you had a good time. And to those of you who are at home or at work watching, hi, Penn.
Hi,
Hi,
Ben.
class. Hi, Emily. Hi, everybody else. We love you all, and I wish you a good night.